Morning guys, I'm Johan Duplessis here from Corporate to Freedom, and I'm very, very fortunate to be here today with Brian Sher. Brian, I don't even know where to begin, mate. You're one of Australia's most respected business growth specialists, co-founder and CEO of the Fortune Institute, man who charges over $2,000 an hour and have people lining up to pay that. You've written over six books, including one international bestseller. I haven't even started to talk about the businesses that you started, so thank you so much for being here today with us.
My pleasure.
Brian, I thought, mate, we'll talk about all your business highlights, etc. in a minute, but what I would really like to do is just talk a little bit about you as a person.
Sure. Well, like you, I was born in Africa.
Yeah.
In the southern part of Africa, and through circumstances, obviously found myself moving to Australia in the late 70s. I went through school here, I went to university here, and studied business at university, and realised that, like everybody else, thought that was going to be my ticket to a great paying job in the high paying world of corporate freedom, so to speak, and quickly realised that that actually wasn't going to be my path, because the very first job I tried to get, I realised that I wasn't really suitable for the corporate environment because I couldn't get a job. So I did try. Like everyone else, I sent my resume out to hundreds, if not thousands, of different companies, and thought that they would grab me because I had a degree in marketing, I had a university qualification. And but unfortunately, there were people who had better marks than me, and so they weren't looking at me as an individual. They were looking at me as my resume, and that really didn't work. At the time, I thought it was an unfortunate position, but effectively, it was a fortunate position because I had to go out and to become self-employed. I had no other choice. I couldn't. No one would offer me a job, so I had to create one for myself. And the way I did that was to take some of the marketing skills that I'd learned. Also, I had to supplement my study in my own time, and I set up my own marketing consulting business, applying those and offering my services to small and medium-sized business people. And I felt there was I found there was a very big demand for that, because a lot of small business people had nowhere to go. They had no one who could help them with their marketing. So I did that for a number of years, and I learned a lot working with tens, if not hundreds, of small businesses, helping them either on a small project, on an advertisement, or on a direct mail campaign, or something that they didn't have the time to do themselves. And so I built up my first business that way.
Wow. What do you feel are some of your business highlights so far? And you've obviously been working in the sphere for over 20 years, so I'm sure there's a lot. But what would be your main highlights?
The main highlights for me is not so much as the businesses or what I was doing. It was more the journey that I was on, and the ability for me to be able to realise that I was very fortunate because of what I'd learned, and I had the ability to create a business from nothing at any time that I wanted to. And to be able to turn that into a business that brought income in, that employed a lot of people, and created a family, an organisation where people could come to my place of work, and that became a very large part of their life. So I started to appreciate the value of that, not only to me but to the people who work for us. And probably the greatest highlight for me was the fact that I suddenly realised that I had complete control of my time. So I could go to work if I wanted to. If I didn't want to, I didn't. No one could fire me. No one could tell me you have to be at this meeting if I didn't want to be there. If I just didn't feel like going to a meeting, I wouldn't. Because I just didn't feel it was important, or I realised it wasn't important, so I wouldn't go. And I think the thing for me was always that drives me as an entrepreneur is the fact that freedom is so important to me. It's more important than the money, because I just didn't like the idea of being able to get paid a lot of money, but I have to be somewhere that someone else wants me to be at that particular time. I'd rather earn less and have the ability to get up and go, you know what, today I just don't want to go to the office, then have to show up because someone else is paying me to do that.
That's right, someone else telling you to do it. What does success look like to you personally?
Well, look, success is a very individual journey, and for everybody, and for me, I've achieved a lot of things. My main thing is I just want to be able to do what I want, and so everything that and that sounds very selfish in a way, but it's not. It's to me, it's not really, because if I can do what I want and I'm in a position where I can help people, which is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I've made that choice that my goal in life is to try to help as many people as possible, and do that as part of a business process. Then I'm in a business that I love.
Yeah.
I'm helping people because it makes me feel good about what I do every day, but it also lifts those people to a level that that they can go and fly and do whatever it is that they want to do.
Yeah.
And someone once said to me, if there's $1 and I give you the dollar, who has the dollar? And well, if I have $1 and I give you the dollar, then there's still only $1.
Yeah.
But if I have an idea and I share that idea with you, then both of us have the idea.
Yeah.
So, and we can both benefit out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So ideas are more valuable than money.
Gotcha.
And so the sharing of ideas and being able to give people and pass the ideas that I've learned onto other people is really what makes my life more interesting.
And Brian, I just want to say we're so fortunate to have people like you around. I know when I got started 2 years ago, you very graciously agreed to share some of your ideas with me as well, and that's really made a big difference to me on my journey. So I've got personal experience that what you're talking about really helps, and thank you very much for that. And thank you very much for spending time with us. That's all the questions that I had, and I really appreciate it. And looking forward to having you at our one-day boot camp where we can share a whole lot more of this with people and help them, hopefully take that first step with their business. Yeah,
well, I think it's a great thing you're doing, and if you can likewise help people find their journey in life, and help them make that leap.
Yep.
I think that's a great thing, and I'm more than happy to help out if I can.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Brian. Thank you.
Cheers. You're welcome.